First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and it's Tuesday night, which means...
It means we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the NXT friends.
Friends.
Worldwide, along with the postmarks here at Post Wrestling. It's Tuesday, August 4th. Hope you're having a nice summer. Hope you're having a good old hot and relaxing, fun, enjoyable summer. We're coming off a SummerSlam. My voice is shot from this weekend of slamming in the summer, you know, just shot, just beat. So apologies. I'm trying my best here, but I'm going to get through this show. I'm alive. I'm awake. I'm not like, you know, it's just my voice is just rough from the two back-to-back nights.
I struggled with doing Friends today. I was like, Friends. Yeah, we slammed. We slammed hard this summer.
That's right. Hope you're all slamming out there this summer. Take that how you will. We did a 2-night watch party for SummerSlam downtown Toronto. Want to say thanks. Shout out to anyone who attended. Maybe some of you attended in spirit. We appreciate it. And we haven't done one for a while since like WrestleMania weekend, and it was a lot of fun. We're obviously really proud of not only the upNXT community we have with Post Wrestling, but our little Poisonrana community worldwide. But we have a nice little Toronto crew of people that get together and watch wrestling. And it's all different walks of life. And sometimes there's new people, and then we don't see people for a little while. Then they come back to another one of these parties, and it's just a blast. So thank you if you're listening, anyone out there. We had so much fun. We gave away night one. You can hear in full detail on our Poisonrana show our whole SummerSlam review. So if you're interested in any of our thoughts on the mug dog, that's the show for you. But we gave away a winged eagle one night, a big gold the other night. We had some fun, some trivia throughout the commercials, and it was just a lot of fun. So unfortunately, the bar didn't have any mug root beer, but next time, oh boy, we're gonna have the mug on hand. But
I've had a bunch of the sugar-free mug in my fridge for a little bit, which it's all right. It's okay.
I got a Dr. Pepper, but they're not paying me, so but it's good. I like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
but
neither a mug, but yeah,
mug life. I just can't stop thinking about this. I hope the mug dog is having a blessed day. I just can't stop thinking. That was the highlight of SummerSlam for me. The more I think about it, the more I didn't hate.
Where was he when Cody finished the story, eh?
Holding him up the mug.
We need those, like, you know, just moments in history where you see those, like, people just edited in. It's like they did it with Slender Man. Like, oh, did you realize Slender Man was at all these world events? Slender Man was there at the grassy knoll, and Slender Man was there, and then it's just the mug dog at, like, beautiful moments in history.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, I my buddy went to hang out with my buddy today, and he loves the new WWE 2K and all the downloadable characters and the creator wrestlers. So I quickly grabbed the remote and went over and tried to see if anyone created the mug dog yet, but unfortunately hasn't happened yet. These creators on these games are pretty good and pretty fast at creating, like, there's already a Kevin Owens updated attire and everything, but no one made the mug root beer dog yet. So someone's gotta get. But I'm wondering, how do I make that mug head dog thing for a Halloween costume? Because that you be Chad Gable and I'll just stand and ruin every moment.
I don't know if I'm jacked enough or tanned enough to be Chad Gable.
If you're ready, willing, and Gable, you could be. But no, we'll think of maybe some other ones. Considering it's still middle of the summer, we still got a few months, but that's way too early. But yes, we are a little beat up from the weekend. We did a 2-night SummerSlam party, and then we did a little review on Monday morning over on our free feed, Poisonrana. I know we do NXT up next here at Post Wrestling, but we have a whole other feed of shows just for you where we talk all about the other wrestling. So we did do a big 2 hours talking all about both nights of SummerSlam, all the stuff we actually liked, all the stuff we definitely hated, and a little bit in between. So check out, that's a free show. And if you like what you hear on Tuesdays, you'll like what you hear on Poisonrana Live. So give us a follow in your Spotify, Apple, and even YouTube, even TikTok, even Instagram. Go search Poisonrana Pod. Give us a follow. It goes a long way. I think I said a week or two ago, we're so close. Remember when we lost our original Instagram? We're so close to 1,000. We're like 100 and something away. So please grab your mom's phone, grab someone's phone, if they have Insta, create an Insta. Go follow us and check out some of the content we've been putting out there, because we're almost, it's a silly goal, but it's what we got right now. So go give us a follow.
1,000 feels good.
Yeah.
1,000 feels good. And then we can aim bigger and bigger and bigger.
Exactly.
But yes. Follow us wherever you can. YouTube is helping us a lot these days, so give us a follow. We do, as you mentioned, Braden, do Poisonrana once a week, talking about everything. We did our AEW Redemption review a couple of weeks ago. We did our SummerSlam review just recently, and yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of coverage. We'll both be going to London for All In, so we'll be doing a bunch of shows around that, as well as everything else coming up in the world of pro wrestling.
Yes, a lot of stuff. We go to a lot of shows. We were just in Montreal last week. Shout out Jack for filling in on Up Next last week. Jack the Snack, appreciate as always with the post wrestling synergy going on here. Much appreciated. But we were at Redemption. We had a great weekend. We talked all about that. We had a show on that one. We have some things planned. We did some Snap-Ranas where we were out in the streets on my birthday weekend in Montreal, talking about the bars we went to, some poutines and all that fun stuff. I know we are going to do a ton of that when we go to London, as well as probably talking about the Rev Pro show we're going to hit up with some friends like Bushby and Pollock and whatnot. So really looking forward to in a few weeks, towards the end of the month, going to All In. But because of the big match, that maybe the announcement of Kenny Omega was enough for you to buy a ticket to All In. It maybe you work in the NHS. But either way, maybe it's a reason for you to travel, just like myself. I was like, no, I can't miss this. I have to go to it if it's one last time. We decided we're gonna work on a special best match ever, where we're gonna look at the history of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. So that's something that's gonna come in a few weeks, leading towards All In. But it's a little project we're gonna work on that we're looking forward to. But we do tons of other shows on our Patreon, including a SummerSlam 01 review. It was recently Shark Week. We reviewed the Meg. We did a best match ever, Jeff Jarrett. We've been all over the map with classic wrestling, movies, and so much more. And it's $5. So you want some more podcasts for your entertainment? We're all over the map, but we got you covered with tons of stuff. I feel like we were 1 minute I'm talking about Jason Statham and sharks, and then it's Jeff Jarrett hitting Beetlejuice with a guitar. Sometimes my girlfriend questions what I'm watching in the living room. Sometimes she's like, "What? Why are you watching that?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I just really love Jason Statham."
I'm glad Patreon have added analytics now, because sometimes we record these shows and we go, is anyone listening to this? Did we just dedicate 4 or 5 hours of our life watching the Meg and then talking about it to absolutely no one? But it seems that people have been listening. But yes, we've had a bunch going on. We did our SummerSlam 2001 review, talking about the summer of the invasion. As you mentioned, we did our best match ever Jeff Jarrett review, the Meg. We've done a bunch of TNA stuff recently. We did the Up Yours TNA Impact, where the main event Mafia take over, and we are going to do a sort of best match ever / profile on Ospreay Omega But this week, we do have a show called Up Yours, where we go to our most loyal patrons, our family members, our world champions, to see what they would like us to talk about. And, well, the cowboy, Brent Nichols, stepped in, and he has picked one of my all-time favorite shows. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but specifically a handful of wrestling-themed episodes, which, just look at Danny the Giant right here, Frank Reynolds the Giant.
Oh my God.
This is ridiculous. Have you started the homework yet, Braden?
No, I haven't. It's probably what I'm going to do as soon as I finish this show right now. I feel like I'm going to owe it to myself to smoke a little of this, whatever caramel I got from Montreal, and watch Always Sunny. I'm very excited. Brent has picked 3 specific episodes that have a whole bunch of wrestling. Obviously, the Danny DeVito singlet wrestling right here, but then there's a Roddy Piper episode, I'm told, and I'm not sure what I'm not sure what the third one is, but I'm excited. I've not watched this whole series front to back, but anytime I have checked it out, it's usually a gas. So I am very excited. This is a strange crossover, but we love wrestling crossovers. We've done Family Matters, we've done Boy Meets World, Baywatch. So this is another one that we're going to tick off the list, and I'm very excited. And it's always fun talking to Brent.
We loved Philly as well when we went, so maybe we'll reminisce a little bit about Geno's, Pats, Ishka Bibbles, what was it, Woolly Mammoths.
Yes. Philly lore, exactly.
Yeah.
Very excited to do that show. We're going to record that tomorrow, talking about all about wrestling episodes of Always Philly. So of Always Sunny. So yeah, we're all over the place with the Patreon and the shows, but sometimes we take some old Patreon shows, put them on our free feed. So hey, if patreon.com/Poisonrana, check it out. We may have a show for you. And as we said, we have this big trip to All In, and if you want to buy us a pint, you can buy yourself some podcasts. It's $5 a month to get like hundreds of shows. I mean, maybe you could also physically buy us a pint if we go to Weatherspoons, but that's for another day closer to. But very, very excited. Fun stuff. Fun summer of wrestling, whether you liked SummerSlam or not. There's always the stuff going on, and the wrestling never stops. We will talk about NXT and the Underground, but we mentioned SummerSlam with all the fallout from the big weekend in WWE, and then the big Raw after SummerSlam. The Raw after doesn't have the same ring to it, I guess, as Raw after Mania. Raw after Slam.
Raw after SummerSlam, yes.
Yeah, sure. So. Yeah. There must have been a sale on blood capsules this week, considering what I saw from Raw and then what I saw from tonight on NXT. So what is Royce Keys okay? He's got a
girthy neck. I think he'll be all right. When it comes to, I prefer the mouth thing works a little bit better for me than what we got in NXT Underground tonight. I don't know. They used to do that with Hell's Gate, right? Like to really, really sell the submission.
Yeah, but whenever I never seen the blood capsule on the mat before it happened though. When someone did
I missed that. Okay, right, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
What did you take away from Raw? Obviously, Oba Femi, Brock. We talked about it. The retirement. They'll play the clip tonight on NXT, but they're not just going directly to Oba. He told us weeks ago, yeah, I won the King of the Ring, but a title shot, who cares? So they're not directly going for Oba and Roman. They're going for Oba. That's got
to be the WrestleMania match, right?
Yeah.
I liked it. I actually think they've done a good job the last few weeks with I've seen the things on social media where Bron Breakker's doing the entrance with the division, and people are like posting on socials like, man, how the mighty have fallen. Bron looks so checked out and that. But it kind of now seems to be part of the story, Paul Heyman kind of giving credit to Oba Femi, and then Bron Breakker just being in this pissed off mood all night. I like it. I think it's a good direction. I like Bron Breakker. I think he's someone we watch for a while on NXT, and we could see it in him. And I think it's kind of the vision stuff has definitely like set him back, I think. And like that whole group has been cursed, and now he's in a tag team where his partner's just making out with Maxine Dupree every week. So I like it. I think as a reset, I don't see Borne winning the feud because I think everything's going behind Obafemi right now. But I like to try and heat him up as a bit more of a serious contender. And I just like that these are fresh faces we're getting in these positions, in big positions. And hopefully this can be the start of like a long-term rivalry where in 11 years' time, 13 years' time, whatever it is, they'll be having their final match on a SummerSlam. And they'll be talking about, hey, remember when Matt Bloom was yelling at us back in NXT? Remember, it's always been you and me, Oba. It's always been you and me. Who knows? But I thought it was a good semi-like reset of the Bron Breakker character yesterday. And I think they're continuing to present Obafemi in a very strong way. I didn't love the match. I didn't love the Hell in a Cell match. I think there was a lot more they could have done with it. But that aside, I do like the positioning. Like, that was the main event. Like, that was kind of establishing end of night one. This is the guy to look for into the future. And even in a way, it kind of... The whole King of the Ring thing was weird. The whole Brock Lesnar retirement was weird. But in hindsight, I think I understand what they were trying to do, which was at WrestleMania, give Brock his moment of retirement. And then at SummerSlam, yes, he's had these two like post-retirement matches, but SummerSlam wasn't about Brock Lesnar. It was about Obafemi. And Brock's already had his farewell, and now it's like, this is the guy. So it was a weird way of doing it, but I think I kind of understood by the end of it. And obviously Brock confirming on Pat McAfee show that he is done now. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how much Saudi money talks and that. But I think the plan was to really like have by the end of this SummerSlam weekend, Obafemi is the next big thing.
Yeah, it's just maybe weird that they did the whole King of the Ring only for him to just really just, nah, I want it, but I just want to face Brock and go back to that feud. So I feel like you could have easily just went to that feud if Brock costed in the match. Maybe he didn't even get put in the tournament to begin with. It's just because of Brock is feuding with him or something, right? But the match didn't live up to the hype. We did a whole talk of SummerSlam, and there were some things we liked, maybe specifically from night 2, but instead of Obafemi Roman Reigns, which we're going to assume is set for a bigger time, maybe Oba is held off until he wins the Rumble or something, right? And then goes on to face Roman at Saudi Mania.
I think Oba Roman is the main event of WrestleMania. And because if you're not doing it, like they could have done it at SummerSlam, you know, he beats Brock and then he beats Roman. There's Survivor Series doesn't feel as big. There's no other show that feels quite as big. But how do we keep how do you keep Obafemi away from that championship until WrestleMania? That's the problem, right? So I imagine this Borne feud could be another 3 matches. They could both be involved in War Games in a way that distracts for a little bit, and then you've got the Rumble. Like there's ways to do it. Like but it does feel like a long time. But I do think we're getting Oba Roman at Mania.
You could easily have them do a War Games thing where they're on opposing sides, and then they have a moment. You could maybe do, I don't know, you could do a match where then like Roman wins by, bloodline or something, and then you go, no, we need to do the official, like, big one-on-one. Because they have done that a bunch where you get it before and go back. But yeah, how to keep him away from Roman until WrestleMania is probably what's going to be the problem. He could go for the Speed Championship, right? Like Intercontinental. He could go for other stuff before he gets to
or wins both the belts, beats Punk, Champion v champion. There you go. Unify him again. Why not?
You mean Kevin? Right? He's gonna be Kevin,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Could be Kevin.
I'd say honestly, like coming out of SummerSlam, the one thing I think is positive in WWE, at least in the back of my head, is like, okay, at least we're gonna go to Kevin Owens and CM Punk, which seems like
I'm
the
very
biggest.
much looking forward to that.
Yeah, that seems like universally us fans are like, oh yeah, these two are gonna absolutely scorch each other on the mic and hopefully have some good stories and some good matches. So like that is, in my opinion, the one thing I'm like, all right, at least we got that to look forward to. But instead of Oba and Roman, we got LA Knight, who seemingly is going after Roman. His theory is basically, hey, I beat all the other guys. Now I can finally get you. And you're not really with the bloodline, even though you kind of are, right? Is that his logic?
I don't know if you caught the commercial break for, I think it was the women's tag match this week on NXT. But Booker T basically saying what Roman said in that segment with LA Knight. Who cares who wins in a 6-man tag? None of that matters. 6-man tags, 8-man tags. No one gives a fuck about that. Yeah, I think that logically makes sense. I think LA's been chasing Roman for a while. He's been feuding with the Bloodline. He beat the Bloodline. And yes, and obviously they had that match in, I think it was a Saudi show, wasn't it? A few years ago, LA Knight and Roman. So yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense for what is the next pay-per-view, by the way? It's not
Money in the Bank.
No. Is it that long? That's 2 months away.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe there's a Saturday night's main event or something in between, but
maybe. But yeah, I don't see LA Knight winning that, but I like LA Knight a lot, so it's good to see him in that position, and I think he will get his flowers one day, hopefully.
He will be champion one day, but yeah, I still, maybe it's not in the cards just yet, but he is entertaining. I've just, like, anytime I watch his promos on Raw, he's got the most machismo out of any wrestler. Yeah. Like, the guy seems like he can pull these things out of his ass and sound so good. So, you can learn how to do a suplex and stuff, but you can't learn how to be, like, I don't know, what's the word to describe him? Like, the charismatic, like, so, like,
yeah,
I don't know. He's old school meets new school, and I definitely think the crowd is still behind him.
I always find the, like, criticism funny of, oh, he's just trying to be The Rock and Austin on the mic. It's like, what, the two greatest talkers of all time? Yeah. How many people are trying to be Bret Hart? How many people are trying to be Shawn Michaels? Like,
Eddie Guerrero.
Yes. More people should be trying to be like The Rock and Austin on the mic, because they were really fucking good. So
yeah, I honestly don't even get that when I watch him. I just think he's a good time. It's a pro wrestler. Great. Like, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Very, very. I do like him, so I think we could continue to get some good stuff. Hopefully. Anything else from Raw? Like, I feel like that's some of the big directions. Kevin Owens is what, on SmackDown this week? That's the return.
Yeah, I think SmackDown feels exciting this week with the Kevin Owens return. You've got the fallout from all that, and Sammy, Kevin, Punk, Cody, Balor, Gunther. Like, they've got a good mix at the top of the card there right now, which I think SmackDown's definitely had a good shot in the arm coming out of this pay-per-view. But we did have a couple of returns on Raw as well, in Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaquer coming back, and Becky seemingly kind of still being the man has come around character, like, but leaning babyface now, which I think is a good move, because I think it had run its course. But it did seem like naturally kind of pivoting to more of a babyface, which I'm for. And if we can get combinations of Becky and Steph, and then obviously the Liv feud as well, like, I think that was a good shot in the arm for the women's division on Raw, because you mentioned, like, Liv hadn't defended that title for 100 days, but was there really anyone outside of EO to challenge her? Like, not really. So I'm happy to see the man, and especially Stephanie Vaquer back.
Yeah, it's great she seems like a strong character that people were really getting behind. So yeah, definitely that probably helps with the women's division, at least on that side. I thought you were going to say, when there was a big return last night, you were referring to the big return of Big Bill. William W.H. Park Morrissey, what was his name again? Big
W.
Bill,
Morrissey,
Big Cass. W. Morrissey.
Weird, because I don't know if you caught like the vignettes they've been showing like over the last few weeks, and it's really like tapped into the guy's struggles, you know, like he had his issues while he was in WWE. He battled like alcoholism, which he's, you know, conquered, and I mean, still a battle, addiction every day, but like he's managed to come out the other side. He got into tremendous shape. He went to TNA and got himself over to a good level there, and then got the contract with AEW and did good stuff there. And like the guy is so likable. Whenever you hear him talk, whether it's in interview settings or when he's playing a babyface, he's naturally very likable. And I was surprised for them to show those vignettes over the last few weeks talking about his struggle. It's almost like the kind of stuff we hear with Mike Santana, Cruz Montana on NXT, and then to come out as kind of generic big man monster taking out the babyface, I thought like jarred with me. I didn't think this was the way they'd be bringing back Big Cass. You know, some people were thinking we were going to get Enzo back as well and bring back the team, but I don't know. I saw him coming back as a big baby face and you know, just coming back and cutting a heartfelt promo and getting those how you doing chants going and all that. I didn't like the way they brought him back. He looks incredible. Like he's in
huge.
Incredible shape.
He's big built.
I think towards the end of his AEW career, a lot of us were going, man, there's still potential in Big Bill, in Big Cass. There's still stuff that hasn't been tapped into. You know, I think the team with Ricky Saints really got over quite well. And then there was that show in, was it Cardiff, where they just embraced him as like the big hero on that show. And then he was trapped in the Jericho vortex and was with Brian Keith and just disappeared. I didn't like his presentation on return. Like
it is weird considering when you watch those vignettes, you just imagine like we're gonna cheer this guy, and I guess I didn't think it was a huge reaction for him actually with that attack on Javon, but I feel like he was someone who has improved. It's funny, like I know famous last words. We'll get into NXT, but we do a series on our Patreon called What's Next, where we have been going back and watching NXT from the very beginning, and we're in the middle of the summer of 2014, and we're watching the debut of like Enzo and Cass and like them feuding with like the Vaudevillains and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting seeing Legionnaires, all that kind of stuff. So like we've seen the improvements and the ups and downs through his career, and like trust me, like he's not ever been my favorite, but you could see that there's something, and like the fact that he's been given this, I guess, chance, I'm willing to see it play out. But I don't know, am I wrong for being like, why not just bring him back with Enzo? Is that like not something they're gonna do? Or
absolutely, I think a babyface, whether with Enzo or not, I think the tag division needs a shot in the arm. That you've got a lot of big guys trying to get over right now. You know, they're trying with Royce Keys, he's not connecting. They brought back Baron Corbin, which I don't know anyone who's really about that right now.
Don't get me started on Baron Corbin.
You've got Jacob Fatu, who isn't as hot as he was. You've got Bron Breakker, who's been struggling. You've got all these big guys in a similar kind of role right now. And I just think, you know, they're saying he's been out of the company. Is it 8 years? It's a long time he's been away. But I do think people fondly remember him. And I think tapping into the nostalgia, whether it's with Enzo or not, and coming out and just being like, it's been 8 years for me to get back here, and now I'm home. How are you doing? Get those how you doing chants going. I think he'd have come across as so much of a bigger star to this audience.
But you're saying like, oh, like tap into the nostalgia. Is there Big Cass nostalgia? Like they almost didn't even give it a chance. So we like at least off of this first. Like if there is Big Cass, if there is Enzo and Cass and chicken tenders and soft and all, how you doing? Like then present them that way and have them come back, but they didn't.
Exactly.
That, so, yeah,
I mean, yeah. I think WWE fans will chant whatever you tell them to chant. So if he comes back and does a "How you doing" SAWFT promo, I think people will cheer along. And like, you saw little girls crying who weren't even born when AJ Lee left. You saw little girls crying when she returned. You know, it's like how do you know? Even John Cena, it's like a lot of these kids in the John Cena retirement feud. It's like, you weren't here. Like, I think WWE audiences, especially if it's something you can chant along with, whether it's a yeet, whether it's a Gable clap above your head, like they do it. And I just think this was the wrong way to bring back WH, Park, Cass, Morrissey.
You know, it kind of reminds me, does he have, he's not anywhere close to, like, you mentioned his name earlier, Jason Albert. Sorry, Matt Bloom. Sorry, Lower Tenside. Oh, wait, sorry. He doesn't have as many as
John Bernard,
but he's got a few. He's got a few.
Yeah,
there.
not in the same. Yeah, not in the same division as Brutus and Albert quite yet.
I feel like maybe there's a spot, but as I kind of said, and we did our whole SummerSlam thing, I definitely went off on like, okay, you're getting rid of people and acts like New Day and Sheamus. So, okay, they have been on TV for years and years and years, but you're getting rid of them to what? Because they're more money? So you'd rather have Baron Corbin back on TV for less money? Like, it's just weird. Like, it's almost like playing Moneyball, but really shit. It's like, no one wants to see that. Oh no, I'm going off on Baron Corbin again. I'll try not to. Be good. I'll be good. I got it out of my system the other day, but oh boy.
Just keep it under a minute. Like I can't do 10 minutes of the same Baron Corbin rant every week. It's exhausting.
I hate him. I think he's a nice guy, but oh my god.
Yeah, you got 10 seconds. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I still can't believe that's something they chose to do. When there is like Big Cass is kind of in the same. I think he was more loved, maybe. But...
I think Cass is more upside. I think he wasn't exposed as much as Baron Corbin. I don't think he was ever shoved down our throats as much as Baron Corbin was over the years.
Dog food, yeah.
And I think he has had a bigger connection with the audience at times than Corbin has.
Right. Well, anything else from we have? I guess the Kevin Owens thing is the most interesting going into SmackDown, like we said. But yeah. What else? Anything else?
I think that was about it from Raw that I can think of. We should mention, I guess, the sad passing of Dory Funk Jr. Passed away
absolutely.
Today.
Yeah, they started the show tonight with a warning board, or not a warning board. Sorry, that's what I call things at work in TV land. They showed the graphic off the top of the show with R.I.P. Dory Funk Jr., who passed away, and yeah, I mean. Legend. We've heard so many stories, and then in the video that they played tonight on NXT with countless wrestlers that he's helped train over the years that he is like, and we're seeing already tonight with like people, all these wrestlers with tributes and social media posts, like with a lot of love and respect to Dory Funk Jr. and the Funk family. I mean, obviously, like Terry Funk always brought up as well, but I know. You said like you just said like all these kids now who weren't even around for John Cena, but you know, maybe their parents show them stuff, or in the world of YouTube and streaming. Because I know when we were roommates and during the pandemic, kind of around the time, I don't even know if we had a Patreon quite yet, we would watch all like old school wrestling and stuff, which got us like the ideas of continuing podcasting. And we would watch tons of like All Japan matches and all these old tag team matches with Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk versus like, you know, all these other guys.
I got Jake from the Windy City who has left us a super chat, and thank you, Jake. We will get to that in a little bit, but he reminded us of it was either the Stan Hansen or the Terry Funk show we did where we talked about the match Terry and Dory Funk Jr. against Stan Hansen and Terry Gordy, which blew me away.
Amazing match.
And I would say if you're not familiar with Dory Funk Jr., like, I'm not going to pretend I'm crazy knowledgeable about Dory Funk. I know the Funks. I know the history of the Funks, how important they are. I'm much more familiar with Terry Funk, but I'm aware of the importance of Dory Funk Jr. to the industry. But that match, you can find it pretty easily online. Stan Hansen and Terry Gordy against the Funks. It's incredible.
Yeah, amazing match. Another one I know was pretty wild. I think it's the Sheik and Abdullah versus Dory Funk and Terry Funk as well. Yeah. So yeah, again, I know that we did a lot of like All Japan, and we used Cage Match back in the pandemic to like go find, you know, top best wrestling matches of all time and that kind of stuff. But a few of those tag team matches were just awesome. So can't recommend that enough. And all the love and power to the Funk family. Huge inspirations in this industry for sure.
He even had a match pretty much exactly 2 years ago.
Jeez,
in 2024. It was, and he won. He won. He didn't. He might be old school, but he didn't go out on his back. It was.
Kayfabe, brother.
It was the Terry Funk Memorial Show.
Oh.
And it was Funk, Dory Funk Jr. and Osamu Nishimura defeating Onita and Raijin Yaguchi in a, whatever this means, a double hell current explosion death match.
Yeah, it sounds like all those
sounds like something you're going to put on after this match.
Yeah, it sounds like the Butcher and the Sheik match. Yeah, exactly. All the craziness. Honestly, absolute legend. So in this age, we can go back. Like it's same with music, right? Like you can go back and find all these old things. But if you've never watched some of these old school ones, if you got some time on your hands, go check it out. Because R.I.P. Dory Funk Jr., R.I.P. Terry Funk as well. Absolute legends in this industry. And the video they played tonight was pretty cool. And I know he's been in the Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff. He said it in his interview for his Hall of Fame. He's wrestled over 10,000 matches, and that was like how many years ago? So he's wrestled quite a lot of matches.
He's maybe like driven 2 million miles or something like that, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
But awesome. I see a super chat. Thank you, Jake, in our YouTube feed right here. Spider-Man, he says, brand new day, 2026 low-key banger at the cinema.
I don't think you can call Spider-Man a low-key banger. Like one of the biggest franchises
No, I think
of
he
all
says
time.
2026 is a low-key banger of the year for cinema. Like this year is a good year for movies.
Can you say that in the same year where you've got Doomsday, The Odyssey, and Spider-Man coming out? 3 of the most anticipated blockbuster movies of the last decade. I don't know if I'd use the word low-key. But yeah. I went and see Spider-Man yesterday. It was fantastic. I love those movies.
I feel like we don't want to just spout out spoilers in case some people haven't watched it, but I definitely was. This was one movie where I'm not caught up on a whole lot of the Marvel stuff. So there were some things I was like, okay, I'm assuming that's this person now, or this is happening, but it did not take away from my enjoyment of the movie. And without spoilers, John Bernthal, who we got to see Dog Day Afternoon live, is show stealing in this. Like, I can't stop watching certain clips from this movie because he is just so fucking funny in this movie. But I loved it. I was like up to date with everything, and then it's been a couple of years now where I really fell off. It was as soon as the second season of certain MCU TV shows came out, I was like, I can't. It's not the pandemic anymore. I got to go to work. I got to go outside. Yeah. You know, and I fell behind. And I've seen, like, you know, the Spider-Man movies, Deadpool, Wolverine. Like, I've seen a bunch. I still got to see the last Black Panther, the last Ant-Man, season 2 of Loki, stuff like that. I'm behind. But I go on to, like, all right, what do I need to see before this film? And pretty much like, okay, I'm good. I'm pretty good. And then Frank Castle throughout the film keeps on going on about Staten Island. And I am so behind on Daredevil and the Punisher series. And I know there was that like one-shot Punisher thing on Disney. So I'm like, oh shit, was Spider-Man in that? So I'm like looking at it all after.
Like,
No,
no, I
it's a
haven't
joke.
missed
Yeah,
anything.
it's a
They're
joke.
just talking about like
Yeah, it's a joke.
off-screen shit.
They got you, brother.
We had the Doomsday Clock as well in the trailer, so I am gonna try and catch up. I'm gonna try my best to do the essentials before Doomsday comes out at the end of the year. But man, I love these Spider-Man movies. I've honestly, I know, you know, people weren't thrilled about the Amazing Spider-Man movies or 3, but I've always just loved, honestly, like the chemistry between the co-stars. I think Tom Holland and Zendaya, obviously they're together in real life, but just have such incredible chemistry. And I felt that with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, where at times I'm like, I don't really care about watching you swing through. I just like seeing you two hang out. It's kind of nice. And I think the cast for these films are great. I thought Sadie Sink was great in this. And yeah, it did get me back into the MCU. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see what's coming up moving forward.
Yeah, I was blown away. Like I know I've been watching some episodes of the animated 90s series, which I'm just obsessed with, and X-Men 97 again. Oh my god, an incredible show. See, you won't ever catch me watching She-Hulk, but X-Men 97 and old animated 90s shows, I'm fucking in, because it prepped me for this movie. My nerd like nostalgia went back. I'm like, okay, I think some things are gonna happen in this movie, and I remember watching it as a kid. So I really love this movie. I'm happy. My girlfriend was really adamant to see this one in this AVX 3D D box, and I was like, okay, whatever. And we got the last two. It was so crazy. I mean, the movie, he's swinging and jumping off buildings, so it's like a roller coaster and like moving and everything. So I was blown away by that thing, because like of all movies to see was when a dude's like swinging. It really felt like you're almost doing it. I felt like Spider-Man watching this movie, but I'm sure one day we'll get around to proper reviewing the Tom Holland era of Spider-Man. But from some of the stuff in the movie to even the classic Marvel post-credit scene, they got me back in, baby. And I know the other night during our SummerSlam parties, there was a bunch of people who have seen the movie and haven't seen it yet, so we were all respectfully having huddles of like fan theories and all these kind of things. So I was waiting to have these with you. So I know when I see you this week, we'll have these discussions, because what did it mean after that?
What does it mean?
Post-credit thing, you know, there's so many. So
I don't know. My apps glitch all the time, so I don't know. Maybe there's nothing to read into that at all.
If this was John Pollock talking about a movie he just saw, he'd give away the whole ending and everything, right?
So such and such dies. And
you didn't see it Thursday night, 12 a.m. screening? Ah, well, you should have.
Who cares about spoilers? Like,
really love the movie. Would recommend it. Go check it out. I've been waiting on the
he was
Odyssey.
too busy interviewing Samoa Joe anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm being stubborn now with the Odyssey, because we only have the 270mm IMAX, and now I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait and see it. But tickets are sold out till like September 20th, dude. I don't even. Maybe I just give up. I don't know.
Odyssey is something I'm happy to wait for, because, you know, I'm not so worried about spoilers for a 1,000-year-old poem.
I've seen Kirk Douglas. I know how to happen.
I've done the play. I played Poseidon. Right. I'm good. I can wait. I do think it's an event that you should probably see in that format. I feel it's like specifically designed to be like IMAX 70mm, and I would like to try and see that. I'm looking at the BFI IMAX in London, because it's one of, if not the biggest in the world. So I'm looking to see if there's any screening while we're there that we could maybe see it there, which would be cool. But yeah, a high key year of movies, Jake. A high key year.
I'll tell you, like, you know, I do love my Marvels. The next one's gonna be nuts. What's that? I got the bug again watching the Spider-Man. I'm like, okay, Doomsday cannot come in. Can we just have it right now? Because I watched that trailer back a few times since watching Spider-Man. Now I'm like, oh shit, okay, wait, maybe there's some big things happening. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. Love that movie. Maybe one day we'll talk about it. Hopefully we didn't spoil anything for anyone. out there. See, we were nice about
I think we were good. I think I think we were all right there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We're hoping to possibly go live for Poison Rana this Friday after SmackDown to do a bit of a AEW Dynamite review / SmackDown. To be confirmed, but that's what it's looking like we're going to do. We're hoping to go away this weekend, go camping, go to the beach. So yes, we will be going potentially head to head with John and Wade, but obviously you can always watch them after the fact the next morning and listen to them the next day.
Yeah, what do you want to hear? You want to hear John, Way, or Neil talk about SmackDown when you
John's
can hear
just
me
going to spoil Spider-Man for you anyway. So yeah, but we did have some news come out yesterday regarding the Continental Cup, which I know to a lot of people were exposed to not watch Collision, myself included, because Moxley on Dynamite talking all about the Continental Cup last week, and so many people were like, the fucking what? But yes, AEW are doing their version of the FA Cup, and it will conclude at Wembley Stadium. And
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes.
The fuck's the FA Cup?
All right. So in English football, you got the Premier League, right? The Premier League is the top league.
Which one's Ted Lasso in?
His team, Richmond's, they were Championship. They moved up to the Premier League, and I think they got relegated again.
Which one's Ryan Reynolds in?
Wrexham, I think, they're either in, are they Championship or League One? I think they're Championship now.
Don't know if you're asking me, but...
So you get, but basically in English football, you have all these leagues. You have the Premier League, the Championship, League One, League Two, League Three, like goes down and down. And it literally goes right down to sort of basically pub football teams, you know, like people with other jobs who play weekend Sunday league football. The FA Cup has all of that. So it's a huge tournament, but it's not unlike a regular tournament, which is just brackets, you know, where you have the draws set up, which we've seen in like the Owen. It's blind. So you have a draw live on TV where they pick the balls out, and it's, Arsenal are playing Wrexham in the next round. And normally, like in the FA Cup, you get these really funny draws where you have there is literally I think it's Luton, their stadium. You have to pretty much walk through someone's house to get to your seat at the stadium. Like it's an old shitty stadium, and they'll be playing like Man City, you know, like Haaland showing up to play there.
So you do random draws
you do random draws, and it's throughout the leagues, and sometimes you get massive upsets where you have these lower league teams beating like the Premier League champions and stuff like that. So Tony Khan's kind of doing his own version of that with the Continental Cup, where they've announced the 16 men who will be part of this, which is Jon Moxley, obviously the current champion, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, Nigel McGuinness, Katsuyori Shibata, David Finlay, Ace Austin, Jay White, Matt Sydal, Jungle Jack Perry, Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, Hechicero, Claudio Castagnoli, and Eddie Kingston. And they'll be doing this knockout tournament, which will conclude at Forbidden Door, at All In. But I imagine after each round, we'll be getting these like live draws to see who faces who. Now, looking at that list and knowing this is still, you know, kayfabe, it's sports entertainment, it's pro wrestling, they're gonna know what the final is at All In. But I kind of hope, I'd love them to still actually keep the randomness until then, where, like, looking at that, I'm assuming it's Jon Moxley, Nigel McGuinness. Is that crazy to think?
No, that kind of, I was actually just going to ask, like, that kind of is the one that jumps off the page there to me. Is that crazy to say? Like, that's the biggest or coolest one. Eddie Kingston's been done. Like, I don't know, there's so many that's been done that don't feel... Eddie. Yeah.
Like, Kyle O'Reilly, that story's finished. Done. Orange Cassidy, they've done that story a lot. Jay White and Finlay are going to be doing their own thing. So it makes sense. Nigel McGuinness in Wembley against John Moxley. I think that could be great. But I'm kind of hoping they don't kayfabe the draws. Like you can still, you can still fix it so you get that to be your final. But I would like there to be an element of randomness with this. But yes, we're getting the FA Cup. I still want a proper World Cup. You know, I still want group stages and knockout and the lot. But yes, we're getting the Continental Cup.
Well, it didn't come home this year, but maybe it will with Nigel McGuinness at Wembley as well with the Continental Cup. I loved Dynamite last week. I thought it was one of the best ones in a long, long time. Really loved the Osprey Omega segment, and then looking at tomorrow night's Grand Slam Mexico, that looks like a little mini pay-per-view in itself. Wild, yeah. So yeah, if I wasn't a little like, we did 2 nights of wrestling and then I had like things going on this week, if I that was a one to get together with the boys and watch, because I feel like it's going to be a good one tomorrow night. So really looking forward to watching that. So we will be going live at some point. We're going to try to on Friday night at some point. So catch the audio on our free feed, Poisonrana. Again, search us on YouTube, Spotify, whatever you use. Check it out. It'll be available late Friday night, early Saturday morning. And we'll talk all about Grand Slam Mexico, SmackDown, and everything else going on in the world of wrestling. But we've rambled on here. I'm sure someone somewhere is like, when the hell are
Where's the NXT review?
When are you going to talk about NXT and Grayson Waller and NXT Underground and all the fun stuff that happens on Tuesday nights? Well, we're going to do it right now. NXT from Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. We get a recap of last week with Grayson Waller cutting the pipe bomb from his return.
Or what's he calling the cage shaking? What's he, cage rattling promo?
Right.
They kept on using that phrase. I'm going to rattle your cage.
The cage rattler?
Yeah.
I watched it. I didn't watch all of NXT last week. I did listen to yourself and Jack, but I did check out the full promo from Grayson Waller. And, you know, it is things we've been saying for what we feel like 2 years of like what even is, okay, maybe not 2 years, but like what even is the men's division in NXT. So, you know, I thought Grayson Waller had some points that were pretty on point, if that makes sense. And, you know, through the years, we've talked all about Grayson Waller at NXT when we've been doing this show for a long, long time. And he was never one of my favorites, but I think he did grow on me in some aspects. And I think talking always was his strong suit. I mean, he's not even a bad wrestler at all either, but I always thought he was really good on the microphone. And that promo, again, you know, it is, I see two sides of it. It's cheesy. It's like you've been downgraded because Austin Theory's busy kissing Maxine Dupree and stuff. But at the same time, we do need some things like this. We do need some people coming down and being mixed into the shake. And we do need someone exposing that, look at all the things and the problems going on with people, calling people soft and complacent and all that stuff. So I don't know.
I think also the way they did it, it almost defended him coming down. You know, like kayfabe wise, it's like, I'm coming down because like, fuck what's going on over there. I need to teach these guys a lesson and show them they're complacent and stuff. So I did think it kind of worked.
I think it's a character that maybe they could stick with. Talking is not everyone's strong suit, but it is definitely his. So I don't know. I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but I almost would call me crazy, especially if you asked me what 3-5 years ago when 2.0 and he was there, but I'd almost go with a Grayson Waller NXT title run in 2026. We've seen Nick Nemeth do it, or Dolph Ziggler. We've seen other people do it, Karrion Kross. We've seen it a lot worse. So I know that might sound crazy, but I think it might be best because there's so many people in the men's division that even if you're a champion, they just seem to be floating around, and we're not quite sure what's going on. So the men's division did need a shakeup, and I'm not saying Grayson Waller is the one to do it, but at least he's entered into the fold. We got Cruz Montana, we got some new people, so at least we're attempting to make some changes, and it's moving in the right direction. So that was last week. They did start the show with a recap of Grayson Waller going off on everyone. But we start off with our first opening matchup. Jaida Parker and Thea Hale, the new alliance because they both despise Natty. Well, they're taking on what I call Natty's baddies because Natty comes out with Karmen, Petrovic, and Nikkita, Lyons. And what did you think of Nikkita, Lyons' gold spiky Catwoman mask? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was. Did she go to the same guy as Jacob Fatu for this?
For the werewolf?
Yeah, just
right.
Bulk deal on animal masks in the Fed right now.
This looked like it was like the Halle Berry Catwoman mask, but then spray painted gold and stuff. But you know what? It's better than who used to come out with the Dollarama smoking skull thing.
Josh Briggs, was it?
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while here. At least like I don't know if she made this or not. It looked better. It looked cool. This is a good addition. Her name is Lion. She's big cat. Kita. I don't know. So Karmen and Nikkita taking on Jaida and Thea. Jaida and Thea keep doing these like double team moves and tagging in and out. Eventually Nikkita's in with Thea and hits her with the like tiger bomb, which Vic Joseph shouts out, the Pearl River plunge. Love it. Shout out Ahmed Johnson. Jaida then comes in and starts to beat up Nikkita, hits the gourd buster on Karmen for a near fall, and then eventually the heart attack is hit from Karmen and Nikkita to Jaida after Natty was like sweeping the leg there a little bit, but the pinfall is broken up. Jada's back in and hits her teardrop butt attack, followed by the high step. Tags in Thea, who hits the coffin drop, or as Vic is now calling the, let me make sure I get this right. The boing, like boing, you know?
I think so. I think that's what I heard as well.
Like a boner sound, you know? Boing, because she bounces off the ropes and hits this coffin drop for the win. Afterwards, the Natty's baddies try to get their heat back, but they're chased away. So Jaida and Thea get the win. I do think that dance that she's doing is the like Jim's dad from American Pie. Like that's totally the dance
that Thea's doing.
That dance she does is the like Eugene Levy, Jim's dad dance. And now you're calling something boing. Like her whole gimmick is she's just loves like 2000s. Like
I mean, she definitely wasn't born when.
No, she's born like 03. She's like American Wedding era, you know. Yeah.
Straight to DVD. I thought this was pretty fun. I think I'm enjoying this like softer side of Jaida Parker. Like I think she's showing a different side of her personality now, and I actually thought her and Thea were quite fun as a team. Like they seem to go very cold on Thea Hale for a while, and I'm pleased to see her reintroduced because I think she is a fun performer. But I still, every now and then I watch matches like this and I question why they got rid of those women's tag championships in NXT, because you've got such a stacked division, and it would be something fun for like Jaida and Thea to do right now. But I didn't mind the match. I thought the crowd got pretty into it. And yeah, I guess we still have to get one more match between Jaida and Natty, don't we?
I guess so. Like the payoff to this feud. I like Natty and these two. Nikkita's stepped up. I honestly think she looks better. I didn't love this match. There was a few like mishaps or whatever, but whatever. I like that at least there's like the stable Thea being on TV, and they're trying some sort of new character with her. And like you said, trying to show another side of Jaida. She was also doing the American Pie dance with her there, the chicken dance or whatever. So like since Chase U ended, Thea was just kind of floating around, and she still kind of is, but a feud like this at least gives her some purpose, and she's on TV though. But speaking of Chase U, did you happen to see what happened at this one indie show this week? I saw Andre Chase, who what's he call himself now? Andre Chance or no? Forget what he calls himself. That Chance, right?
Something like that.
Chance University or something. He was part of the Produce Wrestling show, and Okada showed up, and that image that I know I shared a whole bunch from when when Okada, the rumors of Okada leaving New Japan way before he ever signed with AEW. And me and you kept joking like, oh, he's going to come to NXT. Look, he can join Chase U. And someone had photoshopped Okada in that Chase U jersey. Well, they finally technically had a bit of a moment because I think Andre was the producer of that show. And Okada was a surprise on it. So Okada technically joined Chase U for a moment this past weekend. So there you go. It actually happened. But just put them all together. Bring them back, you know? Talking about big cast nostalgia, I got Chase University nostalgia here on NXT.
Chase U, Don Callis family, Blood and Guts. There you go.
Winner gets Okada. Yeah, Okada's left to join Chance U on AEW.
They've kicked him out. So we get Duke Hudson, we get Andre Chase, we get Bodie Hayward.
Oh my!
I guess Rich the Fridge.
Rich. Oh yeah.
I guess the others still employed, aren't they?
What about the librarian in NXT? We could get her. She's still doing. Remember her? That was like season 1.
Leva Bates. Yeah.
Is there other gimmicks about like people in school? Oh, the fraternity, the frat house.
Shane Douglas.
Yeah, but the frat house on AEW or Ring of Honor. Those guys, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking Griff Garrison.
Who? Anyways, we're fantasy booking some ridiculous shit here, but anyway, that's what we do. So we went from that match and we cut to Myles, Borne, and Tavion Heights. They're getting ready. They have a tag team championship match a little bit later, and they're getting hyped. Like Tavion's like, I haven't won a title. I'm really excited, and tonight is our moment. It was a little kind of teasing that, hey, if we don't win tonight, like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, buddy.
I actually kind of like this. Yeah, I think the exact words were Tavion said, "I don't know what I'll do if I don't win this championship."
Oh, kill
and it was really tipping you off that they're not winning and Tavion's going to turn. So I like the red herring here. I thought it was good.
You see a commercial for War Games Houston. Vic asked Book, "You gonna be there?" And he's like, I guess that's a yes. Brock. Video from Pat McAfee saying he's retired. He didn't tell us Saturday night in the ring. He decided to tell us on Pat McAfee from like his garden or farm or something.
As I said earlier, I think that was intentional. I think he had his moment at WrestleMania, and this was about Oba. You know, they wanted that to be the lasting image of SummerSlam, not Brock retiring. Right. However, I did think because they've just started the WWE radio, so SummerSlam was the first event called on the radio by Vic and Booker T. And I don't know if you saw the post going around with the... there was a blind listener who was like, this was amazing. I used to love pro wrestling and I'd listen to Jerry Lawler and The King. And it was great being able to hear Vic and Book sort of, you know, narrate it for me, essentially. And they queued it up because Vic and Booker had like talked about, oh, yes, we did this. I thought this would have been quite a good opportunity to actually show that, you know, maybe show that tweet, or maybe like have the screen be blank while you're listening to commentary or something, you know, because they kind of set it up that way, and then it was just about Brock Lesnar. But
imagine being blind and you want to hear the wrestling show, but then you learn that it's Booker T doing commentary for it. You're like, oh, you know what? I'll just listen to the feed, the video version. It's good enough. I don't want to hear, was it Black Snow? I don't want to hear him talking about, he went on some weird things later tonight, but how long till the WWE radio listeners start talking about Booker T was on one tonight?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we'll get some of those. No, I did see that tweet and it was quite awesome. I know we haven't really dived into the discussion of the whole WWE radio kind of thing, but at least that was something positive to come out of it, and I was kind of surprised they didn't share that on TV. But we go from that to Tony D'Angelo, NXT champion, comes out to the ring. He has a microphone. He says Grayson Waller disrupted this brand. He disrespected this brand. He says that he thinks this boomerang is going to be this title is going to be a boomerang for his career and help him relaunch himself on the main roster. Well, it's not going to go that way. When he's interrupted, Grayson Waller comes out, but Waller is on the perch. Tony says, "Why don't you come face to face with me in the ring? You should talk to me like a man, but instead you're a bitch." Waller with a hoodie that says "soft, lazy, complacent, and happy to be here."
I
Very
did like
nice.
this hoodie.
They should sell it.
I haven't cared for wrestling merch for quite a while.
You love self-deprecating merch. Yeah. Soft, lazy, complacent, and happy to be here. I think I might have to wear this when I go into work next week.
Yeah.
So Waller is like, "No, I'm happy up here." And it looks like, what did you say? He rattled the cage last week.
Rattled
with that
the cage.
Promo. Tony starts bringing up the 2.0 days and references the War Games match, where it was Team 2.0 versus Team Black and Gold, and says, "Look at the team." And I quote, "Brown Breaker," little mess up from Tony there. I think he's meaning Braun Breaker, who says, "Went on to be a champion." Trick Williams went on to be a champion, even though he wasn't in the match. But he went on to be a champion. He was part of the match. Carmelo Hayes, champion. Tony D, champion. Grayson Waller, nothing. And it did make me stop for a second. I'm like, well, last week Grayson Waller's promo was like, "Yeah, I won a title at WrestleMania in a pretty big match, actually. Probably bigger than any match Tony actually has had yet." But I digress. He says, "You only came back here to NXT to be relevant." And this is when they're interrupted. Cruz Montana comes out through the crowd. He says that, "I've been proving time after time that I am the man that I say I am, baby," and says that I have to do this because there is no other option. "Grayson, you're doing this just to do this for yourself, and you can rehearse all your corny ass comeback lines, but the difference is I've spent years proving I belong, and you've just spent years trying to be noticed." And Grayson interrupts him and says, "Yeah, I've heard your story, conquering demons, but I've got them too. And this fire you've got, I'm going to piss all over it." And Cruz says, "You only do this for yourself." And Tony says, "I'm tired of this. You two need to talk to Stone because you two should face each other, and I'll see the winner at Heatwave." Later, that will be confirmed for next week on NXT. Cruz Montana versus Grayson Waller. #1 contendership match. But yeah, what do you think of this rattling the cage?
I find both Waller and Montana more interesting than Tony right now because I understand why Montana's story is inspirational, and it is something they should tell us about. And there's a lot of people that watch NXT and don't watch the other stuff. As someone who has watched AEW and bits of TNA, I've heard his promo and his story quite a lot for the last few years. And so I kind of liked the heel Grayson Waller here picking on that and being like, all right, we get it. You're fucking shut
through the
up.
Streets. Yeah.
We get it. And but I thought all had good lines here. Like I said, Tony bringing up, "You're the one guy that hasn't won the NXT title in that War Games match, and you keep going on about doing an elbow drop off of it or whatever." Do you see this being a schmoz, or do you see a clean winner next week?
I can't believe I'm saying this. I would make it the triple threat at the pay-per-view, and I would have Grayson Waller win, and I would have the story be Santana chasing him.
I agree.
That's
I 100%
easily the story.
agree.
That should easily be the story for the next few months into NXT is Grayson Waller running his mouth like he did last week. If he did, he actually had some attention on NXT last week because of that promo. Clearly, he could do it again. And if he's champion, I think it would be a lot more interesting than Cruz going after Tony. Tony, I don't know. We've banged this drum so long. Like Tony is, we don't know. The character is whatever. He's grasping on to whatever this character is simply because he is a champion right now. But once he's not champion, no idea what they're going to even do with him. This character, what is it? Describe it using 5 words or you can't, I don't know what it is. And you try to this character on the main roster, I do not know if it will work considering all the other, you mentioned big guys that aren't necessarily connecting. And Tony D is not the best talker, as we kind of saw in this promo. A lot of his promos are not necessarily great. And I don't know, like he's done it all in NXT. They need to move him up, but make him a heavy. Put him with Big Cass and Enzo, as I've been saying. Put him with someone and make him a silent heavy or something. Maybe that's the right way to go. But I would go Grayson and Cruz feuding for the next few months on NXT. I feel like that would be the best thing. And Cruz finally getting this big moment in New York, right?
Yeah.
The MSG Garden. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
He wins the title there. Booked it for NXT for the next few months.
You've got time to do a little Mason Rook feud. You know, he was pissed off later in the night with the comments that Grayson Waller made.
Yeah.
You have more, I feel you have more baby faces who can chase Grayson Waller, trying to prove that they're not complacent and lazy, than you do, like, so what? Montana beats Tony D'Angelo. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's not a great story.
There's not much heat there, really, is there? So I think this is a lot better. So I agree. I do a funky finish next week, lead to a triple threat. Waller wins the triple threat, or even Waller wins straight up next week.
Yeah, maybe just straight
Tony
up
one-on-one.
Yeah, maybe something happens where, he cheats to win, or Cruz gets spoiled by someone else, Tristan Angels or something we saw from tonight that we'll get into. So maybe that's the best case, where it's just somehow Heat Wave is ending with Grayson Waller winning the title. And
I agree.
Look, it sounds crazy because I know I was definitely not super high on him when he was in NXT, but I watched the promo last week. Everything he said made sense of how we felt watching it. So just give him the title. What did he say last?
What a moment that's going to be. Two mouthy Commonwealth lads ending August 30th with the titles.
Yeah. Was it the same day?
Same day.
Oh, no. Forgot about that. Is Roman Reigns going to be on that show, too?
Oh, yeah. We need to talk
Forgot to talk about that. Pause that for a sec. We'll go back to our Rey Mysterio Roman Reigns endgame post-credit scene in a second. But yeah, we haven't actually figured out what we're going to do, because we're going to be at Wembley, and by God, we're on vacation. So that signal
we've got like a day to show Reckless Rob around London afterwards, and then we go to...
I ain't watching Heat Wave with that day, probably.
Are we just doing it on the train to Liverpool?
I did.
I don't know. We need to talk to dads. Dad, John.
Jack. Well, John's going to be with us. No, he's going to be with us. He's going to be at Wembley. So, okay. Wei Ting, you heard it here first. Wei Ting and Jack Lannon doing a Heat Wave review. No, we haven't asked them, but maybe they will. Maybe they'll say yes. You know what? I see someone in the chat. Big Time Baxter says, I don't like how they put NXT up against these pay-per-view, because then it gets lost in the shuffle. Completely agree. Like, I think the counter programming stuff is so silly. And now it's looking like, if it's not competition, then why the fuck is Roman Reigns gonna go to AAA?
Okay, so our good friend Michael Hamflet over at What Culture, we've had him on our Cena pod before.
Yeah.
And as soon as they announced, what is it? It's the AAA show
in
that's
Chicago,
going head to head with All Out in Chicago, in the same city. He was saying, I think they're just gonna do something ridiculous and do Punk and Cody 2 at that AAA show in Chicago.
Roman.
And now, after that final post-credit scene on Raw last night, with Roman shitting all over AAA in just like 3 words or whatever. Hey, Roman, as you know, I'm the GM of AAA. Oh, well, I do now.
What's AAA? Is what
I want to talk to you. I mean, it's what do we get it? I mean, is this for Triple Mania, which they've announced? They've jumped the venue up they were doing the Luxor, which I think was like a 1,500 seat venue. Now they're doing MGM Grand Arena, which is like 15K. Like that they hosted Double or Nothing before. They've hosted WWE events, so it was really high demand. So maybe I imagine it's something to do with Triple Mania trying to boost that. But Roman against El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Like what the fuck are we doing?
Roman Penta. You could do Lucha Bros versus Bloodline. Right?
Okay.
Like that's something I would say. It is funny. I howled at it when I watched that clip of Rey Mysterio being like agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to be like, hey, come talk to me.
Wasn't he? He was Nick Fury. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Sorry, is Undertaker Nick Fury and he's what, Agent Coulson? Kobe Smulders? Is that Ray's role? Like,
yeah. So Roman's gonna show up, have a match in Chicago, and possibly wrestle in Vegas. I would imagine at Triple Mania, right? Like,
yeah, I think so.
I'm assuming that's exactly what's the tease here, and possibly other main roster people. I mean, sure, why not? It's just funny with this like counter programming thing. Like, I think people are gonna want to go see what they want to see, and things like this. Maybe it'll matter. I imagine, like, we've been to the first All In at Hoffman Estates. It's small. Like, it's not like a huge arena. It's like what, a few 10,000, like
10K,
something like that. Like,
10K,
yeah, if they even get that. So I don't think that's going to take away from the AEW. Like, those people are going to go to that show.
They'll fill that building fine.
And that's not even Chicago. That's like half an hour outside the city, an hour or two outside the city. So like, I don't know. It's just funny that they're doing this, but I do imagine we get more of this stuff. And I think Roman will maybe be on that MGM Vegas show just because of that venue upgrade. But I'm still seeing these commercials for, hey, not going to Saudi Mania? Well, if you're in New York, you can come watch it and then watch NXT Heatwave or watch this AAA show at MSG Theater. And I mean, that's
coming to you sometime next year, maybe in April. Maybe.
When is it? It's in April. Is it? Maybe. It might be. Okay, why don't you tell me the dates then? Is it because Tony Khan could do quite possibly the funniest thing and wait for them to announce the date of that weekend and simply just do a way bigger show in North America on that same day in that evening? Wouldn't he? And if it's like, New York, maybe they won't let them run, or I don't know, who knows. Well, New Orleans, I'm sure, wants to go to a wrestling show next spring, so I hope there's some counter programming from the other way around. So it's just funny seeing Roman and Rey Mysterio talking about Roman doing AAA. It's like, for fuck's sake. Even kayfabe, he's like, I didn't know you were GM. I didn't even know that's a show.
It'll end up just being like, that bumped up head-to-head NXT where you had Cena, Undertaker, Cody.
For no reason.
All of the show, doing nothing. The Rock coming out and rambling about absolute nothing. It's probably going to be like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
it's
see.
So funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's hilarious. It's so funny. But, like, hey, you enjoy what you want to enjoy, but it's just like they're making you choose. And some people, it's not even thinking twice. I do an NXT podcast. I've covered NXT for years. Not even a question in my mind what show I'm going to be watching each time they try to do that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. And that's not knock on NXT, but it's like, come on. You're only hurting that show while trying to hurt the other people. It only hurts these brands, the AAA brand and NXT brand, if you continue to do it this way. And I love watching all of wrestling. Even when I watch a SummerSlam and go, that sucked. I'm a fan. I watch it. So, like, why would you want to purposely try to pit us and take away from someone else when it could ultimately end up hurting you from doing that in the first place? Like, something we haven't talked about. I don't really care about ratings, but NXT hyped up their first ever CW show a few weeks ago. It didn't do well. It did really bad, actually, for free TV. So, like, it's interesting. Why pit more people against that now? Because some of that audience that day is going to be going watching else. So that could potentially hurt that CW show even more, even though it's on free TV. But anyways, Wrestling's funny, ain't it? I forget where we were, but somehow we were talking about rattling the cage and how I biting my lips saying Grayson Waller should be NXT champion. So yeah, book it.
We're gonna go back to I think Wren Sinclair and Kendal Gray backstage.
Wren Sinclair and Kendal. Wren is very anxious. She's freaking out a little bit. She's got her speed title match, and then later Kendall's got the underground. So Kendall's getting ready and won't be out there for the speed title. But Kendal says, "You got this. You need to focus," and sends her out there to face Zaria. It's Zaria versus Wren Sinclair for the speed championship. Zaria gets her entrance. They go to commercial, and when we come back, the bell is rung, and the champion, Wren Sinclair, is just like, "Hey, I'm here too."
We got to be speedy, you know?
Yeah, it's the speed. They tell us this is a 5-minute match. Wren is very quick here. She's countering Zaria's powerhouse attempts. There's like roll-ups and sunset flips. There's a very nice it was an okay head scissors. Zaria like sweeps her leg off the top turnbuckle and dumps her to the floor or to the mat, and then continues to beat on her. There's a big pump kick. We get down, 3 minutes go by to 2 minutes left. Wren gets elbowed and is selling like her nose is broken or something. She comes back though with an X Factor. You dealing with it. Then her butterfly suplex for a near fall. Then they continue to go at it, like kind of, beat for beat here. And as Zaria goes for the F5, the countdown is on. The F5 is blocked into the final wrench, but the time runs out. And it is a draw, but therefore Wren Sinclair retains the speed title.
So I assume Wren's going to get her North American Championship shot now after this, because that was she didn't beat her, but that was kind of the stipulation that she'll face her if she wins. Yeah, like that's where these minute matches, right? Like at least you can do this, I guess, with the gimmick, but the draw. Yeah, just same issue I often have with these. I didn't see any urgency. I didn't see them wrestling like it was any other kind of match. It was fine. The action was fine in this, but just I don't get why you have this gimmick if you're not really going to play the gimmick. Because they were just, they were selling for a while where you should be like, "Oh, I'm hurt, but I need to win the match. I've only got 30 seconds on the clock." I don't know. And that seems to be my criticism with all these speed matches. It was fine.
They teased right as the bell rang, and I joked that it kind of made Wren look like a jobber, because as soon as it came back from break, it's like the bell rings and we didn't get her entrance. And Zaria goes for the F5. My brain was like, yeah, just do it. We've been saying Zaria should just do the squashes people and not have longer matches until maybe she can have better longer matches, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, I don't hate Zaria maybe as much as you do, but I didn't like this very much. It was kind of clunky, and it's teasing potentially a rematch or something. And I'm like, I don't know if we need to see that, but I like Wren a whole lot. I really do like Wren and Kendal. So like, keep that pair for as long as we can. But after the match, though, Zaria gets her heat back and gives her the F5. So we're clearly going to go to this. Give them 7 minutes, huh? Right?
Yeah.
Give them 10 minutes, 20 minutes, Continental. Do it. We go backstage. OTM, Bronco Nima and Lucien Price. Bronco's like, "Hey, we're not choosing sides, AAA, NXT, all that stuff. Like, we're good now. We're good." And Price says, "Yeah, it's good that you have a backup plan, and I need to get mine." And they're interrupted once again by the Birthright. And right away, Lucien's not having any of Lexus King. Goes, "Why don't you face me one-on-one?" And he goes, "Well, no. They all like start to go, "Well, speed tournaments. You need to win a tournament to get a title shot." And he goes, "I don't even care about that title. I just want a match." And then says, "I think I found my backup plan." So his buddy's doing things in AAA. So he decides, why don't I have a feud not for the title with Lexus King next week on NXT? So there you go. Lucien versus.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do a tournament.
Yeah.
Whole tournament. But yeah, I've said this before, like it's a weird time to do this, because I felt OTM were starting to actually connect, and now they're teasing a breakup angle. However, like, Price is the one I've preferred in this group, so I'm at least intrigued to see how he does in a singles role.
Sure.
I wouldn't be broken this group up yet.
I don't think they will. I think they're purposely like doing this and saying like, yeah, we can do other things, you know, we can go hang out with other,
you know, yeah.
We see Grayson Waller with Kalani Jordan backstage, and Kalani's kind of talking him up about being a champion and stuff, and says that when she first gets to the main roster, she's going to try and win a title like on her first night, or is that what she said? Like, my first opportunity, I'm going to win gold.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, you know, you don't miss, kind of wink, wink. So like Carmelo Hayes, you know. NXT 2.0 lore. Wow. Are we getting older? What? They're now referring to this like it's old school, like nostalgia on NXT. So Kalani sees someone coming, so she walks off. Mason Rook walks up to Grayson Waller and says, hey, I've come to show you just how soft I am. And Waller's like, yeah, you do kind of look soft, and it looks like you don't know what sacrifice is. And when Rook is about to like get in his face even more, Cam Hendricks attacks him from behind, and there's a big pull apart with Cam Hendricks and Mason Rook. So he was
face me like, and find out how soft I am.
It's like the best use of words, I guess. But yeah, this is protecting Grayson from getting his ass kicked from Rook, because he was talking shit about everybody essentially. But it continues the feud of Cam Hendricks and Mason Rook. But do you know why Cam Hendricks attacked him like this? Did you see the social media post that really, I think, put this feud into next gear? So they've been, you know, beefing on TV, but they continued beefing on social media. And Mason Rook basically made a joke to Cam Hendricks like, hey, you watch Monday Night Raw lately? Or something along those lines. That's probably why he attacked him here tonight.
Mason Rook was pretty how soft he was, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
So continuing the feud with these two, but yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to a Waller Rook match down the line. I think that could be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see Rook. Rook needs to wrestle more.
Yeah,
I'm not like crushing dudes, to be honest.
Yeah, like he should be having bangers so that we know that he's good. But they've really kind of dropped the. I was excited, and I only knew him from like some things, like clips online and Instagram posts.
And now he's just like James Corden walking around backstage. Like it's.
No, don't you say that. Now I'm not going to not see that. Yeah, dude needs to start wrestling. Start killing people right now. Next week,
we're doing carpool karaoke with Shiloh Hill before you know it.
You say Shiloh Hill? That'd be all right, actually. I would be okay with that. Yeah, don't put him in a cat's outfit, right? Wasn't that guy in that movie? We go to our next match. Vanity Project, the NXT Tag Champions, putting the titles on the line against Myles Borne, who's the North American champion, and Tavion Heights, the formerly No Quarter Catch crew. We get the popcorn chicken pop meter. I know you're a real big fan of the pop meter. I know I was away last week when you and Jack did the show, but I noticed that we got some messages on our social media about you guys ripping on the popcorn chicken. So
no, that would be the KFC ripping chicken, but no.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So apparently the popcorn chicken went away for a long time, and now it's back. But I have to defend.
So it's the Baron Corbin of chicken, is it? Yeah.
I have to defend that. I don't think I've been in a KFC for like over 10 years. I had a really bad experience in Florida, and I choose Popeyes or whatever if I'm getting fried chicken in to begin with. Waffles chicken are probably the one I would go for. But also, I'm pretty sure here in Canada, it never went away. So actually, Davey, you've been living in this country for like 10 years. So therefore, the popcorn chicken has always been here. I guess it left in the States. I don't know. But I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure it, like, I don't know. I can't remember last time I went to KFC. But if I were to go to a KFC, I'd probably get popcorn chicken. Or like a wrap, maybe. But yeah, I didn't know it went anywhere. But it's back, folks.
It's back, guys. The pop meter with, like, we should bring back the Colonel Sanders. Remember, like, they did, like, what, Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler and stuff? Now we got the mug dog.
They did. That's right.
I just need the mug dog to be revealed as a wrestler after. and beat up Chad Gable. But tag team match here. Pop meter is big for Myles Borne and Tavion Heights. I didn't actually think the pop was big, but anyways. Tavion starts the match in, and he's hitting these very nice suplexes. Like, you know that like leg capture, like the Taz suplex overhead throw? Like, this guy definitely knows how to do some suplexes. There's a fireman carry into a power slam, which was also nice. And then Myles comes in and hits an angle slam. And Vic calls it, does Vic call it the angle slam or Olympic slam? And Booker, for no reason whatsoever, says, why doesn't he just call it a Myles Borne slam? And he's like, because that doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue, Book, is what Vic basically says to him. Book, considering there was the main event Mafia reunion the other week, maybe you shouldn't make jokes about like Kurt Angle's move. It is, everyone calls it either the angle slam or Olympic slam because of him. But, Book, no one really calls the rock bottom a bookend. Just saying. Except Trick.
You know what I like is when some people call it a high angle slam. Because
Nice,
it works both ways, right? Because it is a high angle.
Yeah.
But also Kurt.
Yeah. And I love when Vic pokes at Booker T. It is pretty funny. They keep getting the best of Vanity Project as we go into commercial break. But during the break, in picture, Jackson Drake, who's wearing a nice pair of shades ringside, trips the leg and allows or actually holds Ricky Smokes towards the ropes so it blocks the Borne again, the zigzag from Myles, and then they start to beat down on the champion here, or North American champion. Booker T going off about the medulla oblongata. Tavion gets the hot tag back from commercial break. He's hitting more suplex. There's a powerbomb dropkick combo. Vanity Project come back with their dropkick spinebuster combo, but it's broken up. Kind of. The ref here, unfortunately, like moved his hand a little. Like it definitely was a 3, but he was like, no, it was broken up. It kind of wasn't, but still looked pretty cool with that double team move. Eventually, the ref kicks out Jackson Drake and Micah. He's like, you out of here, which allows Myles to hit the Borne again on Ricky, then clotheslines Brad Baylor out of the ring, leaving Tavion and Ricky in the ring, who then Tavion hits his running belly-to-belly slam, which I think Vic now calls the height of glory. And 1, 2, 3. Tavion Heights and Myles Borne are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. And Myles Borne is a double champ.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Vanity Project, and I don't feel as into these two, Borne and Tavion, as I think they want us to. Like, they don't seem anywhere near as hot as they do when... Was it Heatwave we saw them? We saw them live at one of the NXT shows, didn't we? Go for the titles, and they were pretty over. They were as the NQCC.
Right. I don't know. I think it was Chase U. Maybe back.
Right.
There, I don't know if we
one
went
of the
there,
events we went to.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's... I thought Tavion looked really good in this match, actually. And I thought the match itself was good. But I don't know about the decision to strap these two up.
You know what? Vanity Project, I think, will just win these back eventually. But we do need some tag teams. We do need something else. I'm not saying this run was boring, because if you've listened to us, Vanity Project, I think, are our favorite act to watch. Like, the whole unit of these we keep calling them kids, because to us they really are, and they're all pretty young, but they've been great since being on NXT TV. I think they since January, and they've had some really good stuff. I don't think this is the end of them by any means. I do think they'll get these titles back. So I kind of like the switch up, especially you mentioned the red herring early with them kind of teasing like, no, we're gonna, if we don't win tonight, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So imagine what he'll do when they lose the titles. Maybe will they break up or something? So look, I actually find Myles Borne and Tavion Heights incredibly boring when they're separate. But maybe as a tag team, we shouldn't have broken them up in the first place, because they do cool wrestling moves, and maybe we just lean into that. Be more American Alpha, Team Angle, and less like singles solo acts trying to do the same thing anyways, if that makes sense.
Could you see eventually Myles being the one they turn? You know, like,
that would be way more interesting.
Myles ends up losing the North American title because he's stretching himself too thin, doing the double duty thing, trying to help out his friend. And because, I think Myles has been incredibly boring. Like so maybe that's something you could do. I don't know if Tavion is likable enough to be on the babyface end of that feud. But I do definitely prefer them as a tag team.
I would keep them as a tag team. Keep like the wrestlers as a tag team. No quarter catch crew, whatever you want to call them. I think it works better. I'm not saying this is going to be an insane tag run, but we could have some cool TV and some tag matches. We got Hank and Tank. I don't know what other teams we have. Maybe it's time to get some new teams as well, but this isn't the last of Vanity Project. And if anything, I'd like to see some focus on Jackson Drake of them. Now that maybe they lost the titles, we can do trio stuff, and then maybe something with Drake going after North American title, or dare I say speed title. I don't know, something. But this match was pretty fun with some of these suplexes, and I was shocked with the outcome. So we'll see if it works. Booker T was furious. He was like, what the hell? You hear like in between, Vic's like, wow, they did it. And the announcer's like, no. And he's like, what the what? Why do these guys win? They don't do reality of wrestling that. Wait, no, what? So Vanity Project are very upset. They go backstage. They're furious. They're like shoving the camera. And they walk by Keanu Carver. And Micah Lockwood stares Keanu Carver up and down. She checks him out. She's, what do they call it? She's
they had this moment last week. I said to Jack, I wasn't sure if she wanted to fuck him or fight him. And it's...
Yeah, I still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe more on that later. But I'd love to see a match between Keanu Carver. Lockwood. That'd be pretty cool. Backstage, Izzy Dame is with Nico Vance when Lizzie Rain comes in, and Izzy's kind of running her down. And Lizzie says that if I get a chance to fight you, like, I'll get my revenge back on you. They're interrupted by Sean Spears, who comes in and says he set up a match that it's Izzy and Nico versus Sean Spears and Lizzie Rain next week. But Lizzie kind of says, I don't really trust you because I've seen what you do with the culling. But if things don't go the right way, it could be 3-on-1 next week. Meaning, I don't trust you, Sean Spears. And he's like, I didn't realize he was still on this show. Oh, you're still here. You're still on NXT. Okay. We need his write-off, I think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't know if it's happening because I think it could have happened a while ago and it's still not. We're just continuing this feud.
Yeah. We go to our next match. Keanu Carver versus EK Prosper. It's in the game. This kind of feud has been going on for the past few weeks, and Prosper's trying to get his revenge here. He's beaten Keanu, and then Keanu's beaten the hell out of him, so that's kind of what set up this match. Prosper is in there. He hits his step-up moonsault pretty quickly, which looked nice. Vic says, hey, Book, I heard you taught him that, and as a joke, clearly. He does a crossbody to the outside, but Carver catches him, and he slips out of it, and Carver almost gets thrown into Booker, and he's like, oh, sorry, Book, I almost got you there. But then Prosper dives over the desk, drop-kicking Carver. So they continue to brawl through picture-in-picture. Eventually, Carver throws him into the turnbuckle and then starts beating on him. The ref checks on, like, are you okay there? Continues to beat on him. There's almost like a stunner to the chin and then a moonsault to a standing Carver for a near fall, a running DDT, and then Prosper goes up top and hits what Vic described, or I think Book actually described as a Swanton Buster. It was like Swanton dive into a blockbuster from EK Prosper here. Actually looked pretty cool. He's also bleeding from the mouth, like quite a lot. Eventually there's a pop-up German suplex from Carver, which was pretty crazy, and then a power bomb, but Prosper kicks out. Eventually EK runs at him with a Shining Wizard, but it wasn't enough to pin him. And in a strange turn of events, I mentioned a few weeks ago, Prosper pinned Carver by rolling him up or the inside cradle. Keanu Carver uses a small package and pins EK Prosper. And everyone is shocked. And even Carver's like, I guess it worked.
I like this. I liked last week when he requested the match. He didn't go in like smashing up shit or whatever. And Mr. Stone was sort of, okay. He was just like, no, I'm not going to shout. Can I have a match next week? And he's like, Yeah, you can, and it's just waiting for him to snap. I kind of like this. I thought we actually, I think wrestling wise, it allowed Carver to show a different side of him. Like it wasn't just the throwing people around, which he did, but it had a bit more wrestling in it, like classical wrestling, if you will. And I kind of like the story they're telling, where he's sort of maybe being tamed a little bit and showing a different side of him. I think when you're in NXT, it's the opportunity to try different things out, and you should be trying different styles and characters and everything. So I didn't mind this, and it's also what made him finally beat EK. So I kind of like the storytelling with this match, and Prosper always impresses me as well in ring.
Yeah, he really is impressive. Like some of the stuff he can do, but I've been loving his promo game, his character game, and then now now you've lost the way you beat this monster with the small package, and now he did it to you. So you do need to see the rubber match, but also you guys boys now, like, because he learned something from you. So like, could this be a tag team? Like, I don't know, but I wouldn't mind seeing it run back one more time, because I do like both of these guys. I think they're two characters here on Tuesdays that I think are waiting in the wings. Possibly they've been impressing. What was the word we were using earlier today? Low key. They were low key. They've been low key impressing on NXT. So maybe there's a shot for them to be like pushed into the next level eventually. Unlike the next guys, Dark State backstage, who are they're not even wearing their gear anymore. They're just wearing just their clothes. They're like Dom versus Danhausen on the weekend. Dion's in the back looking sad, and Cutler and Osiris are like, oh, he's got his rematch next week, but he's really got something to prove. And Dion's like, what are you talking about, something to prove? And he's like, maybe Waller's right. Maybe we have been soft and complacent. He's like, well, I ain't. If we are, then what are we doing here in the first place? And I kind of was like, yeah, actually, that's a good question. Sorry, Dark State, but I don't know. This made me think they're gonna break up.
Yeah, I
think they're done.
Is it gonna be Cutler and Osiris kicking Dion out the group?
Who cares?
Is that what's next?
Yeah,
I know.
It doesn't even matter. Like, what are you gonna do with them if they're not a group?
I don't.
Like, right? Like, but then what are you doing them with a group? What are we gonna do with Sugars? At least is gonna break off from it, but yeah, I thought they looked like they were just showing up tonight for this. They were like, that's the match next week is Dion versus Saquon, the rematch on NXT. We get a video for Shiloh Hill, who is in the dark somewhere. There's a campfire. He says that last week he actually fractured a part of his skull, the masculine. My God. He says that it might be a while and he's going to be out of action. And he knows there's a lot of weird injuries going around, including Cam Hendricks and his hurt knee. And he goes, don't things heal that fast? And then he brings up the IC title. And then he brings up the IC title history with Pat Patterson and mentions that there's no proof or photographs of that actual tournament. So like, how did that Intercontinental title come to be in the first place? He goes, I got alarm bells there. Then he goes off about talking about Asuka and the Mist, Shinsuke, Tajiri, and says that everyone knows it's the Japanese Mist, but mentions it's actually from Texas and that the Great Kabuki brought it back to Japan, and that he called it Doku Kiri, the poison fog, which don't get confused with the poison frog, Poisonrana. So is Shiloh on the shelf, I guess, with this injury, if legit? I'm going to assume something is legit if he's saying this. His new gimmick is, I'm going to tell you cool wrestling thing.
I love this. I thought this was great. And if you're going to keep him like as a character, like while he's healing, you see things like this on TikTok or Reels, don't you? Like, did you know this little interesting thing about wrestling? And you'll get a little, like he said here, the IC Championship at this tournament in Brazil, but no one actually saw it. Did it even happen? Blah, blah, blah. I thought this was actually pretty good. And I'd like them to continue this with like actually proper, interesting and weird wrestling facts with Shiloh Hill. Yeah.
Next week, Charlotte Hill's like, did you know there was this show in North Korea? It's a stadium show. Exactly. Scott Norton was there. It was great. Yeah.
Talk about Herb Abrams one week, and
he's just dark side of the ring now. That's his gimmick. I think that's it, right? This is where we got the video for Dory Funk, and shout out Amarillo, Texas, and we kind of talked about it off the top there, but they showed a lot of clips of wrestlers and people who've been trained by him and whatnot. R.I.P. Dory Funk Jr. We get Mr. Stone backstage, and he's with Cruz Montana, and he says that it will be Grayson Waller versus Cruz next week, and the winner gets to face Tony at Heatwave. When Tristan Angels comes in and says, how did you get a title opportunity already? Like, that's something you have to earn here. He goes, I know that you're new, but you have to earn these things. And Cruz is like, new? Who's new? I was here last year, holding it down. Great American Bash, MSG Theater Garden. Where were you? How long have you been here? And Tristan's like, 3 months. And he goes, yeah, that's what I thought. 3 months. Who's new? So I imagine we get a little bit of a feud with these two, right?
Yeah.
Like Tristan and Cruz. Maybe he costs him the match next week.
Okay, little TV story for Montana to tide him over. But I did like it, like Tristan calling him new, and he's like, you've been in 3 months? It's always like, I've had this at I guess I am new at my current bar, but my old bar, when you'd have a new regular, but they maybe don't come in on your days you're working, and then they see you one day, and it's like, oh, you must be new around here. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? I've been here for 10 years.
Yeah.
Calling me new.
We call him new.
Who are you calling new?
Yeah, I definitely think he'll be the one maybe costing him. So we're not just going for Cruz right away for the title. But
yeah.
So that match is next week, the number one contendership, plus Saquon versus Dion, the intergender tag match, or mixed tag match, I should say. And then what else did they announce? But those are the top ones, I guess, for next week. But we go to our main event, NXT Underground, for the NXT Women's Championship. The champion, Kendal Gray, putting the title on the line against the former champion, Lola Vice. Remember how this works? It's basically NXT Bloodsport. We got no ropes, but we got all the lumberjacks, the Performance Center, some familiar faces. Shout out Brooks Jensen. I noticed him on TV here, and I noticed a lot of like new signees and people who haven't necessarily been characters on NXT quite yet. I know they just did the SummerSlam tryout this week, so we're gonna have some new class of characters at the PC, I'm sure. But a lot of unfamiliar and familiar faces here as the lumberjacks for NXT Underground. It's got the dark lights as well. Not quite the Fiend, not quite Sin Cara, but underground lights.
Yeah.
We get them right away going after each other. Kendal and Lola. They start to strike and try to do submissions. There's a figure four where they tease the spot where we've seen before where they're going to fall outside the ring, but they stop. Eventually, Kendal does a Rana off the apron to the floor on Lola. And then Lola flapjacks Kendal Gray into the steel steps, which causes a bloody ear. Oh boy, was this ear bloody. Oh man. It cuts to like her hitting her onto the steps, and then the camera cuts back to Lola. And then when it comes back to Kendal, all of a sudden her ear is just leaking.
Yeah.
Right? How'd you think that ear blood looked?
Okay, so I mean, this looked incredibly fake, this blood. But then I see Kendall's posted a photo of her ear after the fact on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
And all the comments are, man, that looks so nasty. Hope you're okay. Like, and I'm just reading these comments going, like, this is fake blood. This isn't real.
Kayfabe, brother. What are you talking about? What do you mean fake blood?
Yeah.
It looked like jarringly bad to me right away. And
me too.
And usually I'm like, oh shit, like, are they bleeding? Are they okay? I didn't even think that because I'm like, that looks like Halloween blood.
The
Like,
color of it
costumes.
was like that sticky, like the sticky fake blood you get, which gets everywhere.
Yeah, it looked. Yeah,
it didn't look
right
real to
away.
me.
It took me right out of it. Unfortunately,
Me too.
Look, they got me back in towards the end with some cool stuff, but I really hated that decision of them doing that. I think that took me out. It took away from the match. And I was looking forward to this match, and that really like brought it down for me.
So you're trying to suspend your disbelief whenever you're watching wrestling, right? So and therefore I think when there's blood hard way or even a blade job, but when you know it's real, it draws you into it, right? And there's more of a blending between reality and like make believe in wrestling than in anything. Like you go and you watch a movie and you know what you're watching is, stuntmen doing stuff and CGI and all that, whereas there's always an element of wrestling, even though it's predetermined and scripted and all that there's real elements that when you get slammed on the mat, bumps hurt, the ropes hurt when you run them, submissions can hurt. And when you blade and or get busted a hard way and that blood is pouring, or you're seeing the welts from a chop or a kendo stick strike or whatever, it draws you in because it's that reality and that moment that's real with it. As soon as it gets exposed too much, and I know, like, for instance, I think back to like that Cora Jade attack with the skateboard and it's cardboard and it falls apart and it just immediately go, well, that doesn't hurt, right? And that's not real. And as soon as you know a performer has put fake blood on, like it takes you out of it. And that they're also then doing the trope that I fucking hate in wrestling, and they do this a lot, and AEW is very guilty of this, when you're teasing the referee stoppage because of performers too banged up. Like this match is an underground match where you're meant to beat them up until they're stopped. She's on the floor for like a minute before we restart this match to like get her back in. She's doing the glossy eyes, she's concussed. And what bothers me even more is in the same match, the referee gets taken down with a spinning back fist. The referee is not a fighter, and no one checks on him to see if he's okay. It's the same, like how many like happened in the Roman Seth match. The ref is down for so long, and then I see literally like 5-6 people, like her dad, her trainer, the doctors, everyone around Kendal Gray to make sure she's okay. You then get a referee who's not signed on to fight anyone, who gets punched in the temple and knocked out and isn't moving for minutes. And people are like, he'll be all right. He'll be okay.
There's a title match on right now. We got to focus on that.
It's just, it's weird. And it's something that always bothers me because it should just be, you have 10 counts for a reason. It should just be a TKO or whatever, if that's the case. But I agree. I thought this blood, I thought it looked bad. And I thought it took away from a good match because I'm now trying to get back into it.
Yeah,
and just
I felt that
then
way.
Thinking she looks kind of goofy with the bandage around her head. Like
so yeah, like I joked earlier, like was it a 2-for-1 blood capsule week where it's like, oh wait, we did it last night and it worked, it didn't. Let's do it tonight, it'll work, it didn't. So like, why back-to-back nights of WWE was there fake blood? I think we've all been wrestling fans and we all have those people every day when you tell someone you watch wrestling, they go, it's fake. They use fake blood. They use fake capsules. So when WWE does do this, it almost seems rare when they do. But doing 2 shows back to back, night to night, with a fake blood angle, that's kind of weird. Is this a new direction that are we going to see more of this? Like, I think it's a misstep here, and it really took me. Again, I mentioned I saw the clip of Royce Keys. You could see the blood capsule next to his fucking head. You could see it before then all of a sudden he's bloody everywhere. Here, you didn't see it because it cut away, and then it cuts back, and it's just like so unbelievably fake blood there that I'm like, oh come on. pretty cheesy, but it took me out of the match. And then, if I had to get past that, she's like, "No, get away from me. I got this." They don't even help her. You know, we've watched matches where the ref gives the towel and they wipe the blood off, whatever. She wraps herself up like Mummy's alive here, King Ramsey, and she gets back in the ring, and they're like, "Okay, I guess the match is still on." So the match continues. Lola starts hitting these back suplexes and then back to back suplexes here, trying to keep her down. But you can't pin, right? It's only submission and knockout. So she continues to beat her up. Kendal somehow fights back and hits some suplexes of her own. There's a back bump sending Kendal to the floor. That was pretty nasty. And then she gets back in and gets an ankle lock on Lola here, but Lola eventually gets out of it. There's the spot where Lola backfists Kendal and she falls into the lumberjacks, but they push her back. And in that push, she does the spinning, like Andrade back elbow, the Judas effect. Kind of hokey, but okay, I can get back into that. Lola then gets a sleeper in, which is eventually broken up. And then there's the back fist, but Kendal ducks. And like you said, the referee eats the back fist. He's knocked out. And Lola puts Kendal in the sleeper. She's asleep, sort of. But the ref isn't there, so he can't call the match. Eventually, Wren Sinclair is there, and she's yelling at Kendal, like, "Get up! Get up!" And she slaps Kendal. Not in like, I'm turning on her, like, "Wake up, you got this, you got this." As she's yelling at her, Kendal is like, "Okay, you're right." She gets up, but she's just crushed by this huge kick from Lola Vice. And then Lola goes for the back fist again, but it's countered into the cross arm breaker. And Lola Vice taps out in her own NXT Underground matchup. Therefore, Kendal Gray, bloody ear with the mummy bandages wrapped around her head and all, taps out Lola Vice to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Yeah.
I think these two have really good chemistry. And
me too.
And I thought there was some really good sequences in this match, but I kind of enjoyed the NXT Underground matches in the past. I don't think I like it for a title match. And I think more of like just a feud to have a bit of a gimmicky match on a TV show I like, but it just felt too much for these two. And I thought it actually took away from the work they can do. When they got into those final sequences, some of the counters, like the spinning back fist, the submissions going back and forth, both are so smooth how they're transitioning into it. And their submissions look legit, I think. Like the torque both of them had, like that armbar looked painful that Lola Vice tapped out in. So I liked all that stuff. But then, I mean, we've gone off on the blood already. I thought that took me out, and just the setting of it was a bit too hokey for me for this match, and was probably my least favorite of the encounters they've had so far. And I think I'd have preferred just a one-on-one, and just, you know, you've then done the ref knockout and I guess the visual, not the visual pin, but the visual passing out where Lola should have won. But I think, like, I haven't seen if there was a goodbye, but the way this show ended, I feel that was Lola's last match in NXT, because, you know, you had the respect and both hugging and thanking each other and sort of raising each other's hand at the end. I think that's it for Lola Vice. So it's not like you're coming out of this with a heel Lola being, "I was screwed out of my own match." And therefore, and we don't see NXT Underground matches on the main roster. So did we really need to protect Lola with like a funky finish on this match? I don't think so. Didn't think it was bad. I thought there was nice elements to it, but I was let down a little bit by this.
Considering the other encounters that these two had, you mentioned, like, the chemistry has been really good. The triple threat, the singles matches have been really good, like some standout stuff from NXT. And then they kind of watered it down with the gimmick. We've seen fun and good NXT Underground matches, but yeah, the blood thing really took me out of it. It didn't look as serious, or there was still some fun stuff in this match. Ultimately, they did get me back with some of the stuff at the end, but it was maybe too far gone. And I want Lola to be called up at this point. Like, she's done everything here in NXT. She has really, really improved. And maybe they could get this gimmick over on the main roster, like former MMA fighter, cage fighter, submissions and back fist and all that kind of stuff. So there is room for that. And part of me was thinking like Lola should beat her up after and turn heel and be like, no, I slept you. I should get a rematch, a Iron Woman match between the two of them or something, you know? But I think maybe she is done with NXT after
where would you put her on the main roster? Like big time Baxter in the chat saying, are they calling up women without a plan? Because the recent track record sure seems that way. Even JC's booking is rocky. Like the reports are is she is moving up. That they seem to be the whispers going on, and the way this show ended leads me to think that. Although Tatum had a very similar thing recently, and she didn't move up, but I don't see what else there is for Lola to do. I
don't know what to do with Tatum either. That's another one you could call up too. But I think I would call up. What about Kendal Gray? Who's her opponent for Heatwave? Zaria? Kalani. Oh, right. Yeah. That would make sense. Does she take it from Kendal?
I think especially with the line of first time I get my shot, I'm going to win it.
That's what she said, yeah.
And I think Kendal could be a 2-time champion. I think she could be on the chase and win it again at a stand and deliver or whatever. But I think Kalani needs a dominant run as the champion. And I'd do it pretty soon with Kendal chasing.
So we think our two matches, possibly, this is just us kind of speculating after watching the show, that maybe Kendal Gray versus Kalani at Heatwave and Grayson Waller versus Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And there's some history with all four, with those two matches there. But there you go. That was NXT. What was your match of the night? Like, I liked some of the stuff in the main event, but it really was a little hokey for me. The tag title match, I guess, was pretty decent, but there was no wrestling on this episode that necessarily like blew me away, but there wasn't anything that was offensive either, I guess. You know?
I'm kind of the same. Maybe the tag match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was expecting more from the main event, and it was a good match, but I think I had my expectations too high for it, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, there you go. At least we're moving in some directions, even if it's with Grayson Waller and Tony D and stuff. Heatwave in a few weeks. I'm sure they'll have some things next week leading to some match announcements and whatnot. But an okay episode. I didn't love this episode, but again, nothing necessarily over offended me there. But there you go. Did we have any feedback this week?
I can't see any. So
that's okay. We were the only ones that watched, I guess. Well, we do this every week here at Post Wrestling. Right after NXT, we go live on the Post Wrestling YouTube, and then the audio is up here on the Post Wrestling free feed. So check us out. Next week, we will be back. But we do tons of other shows. As we mentioned, this Friday after SmackDown on our Poisonrana podcast, YouTube, we'll go live. We'll talk about SmackDown, AEW Grand Slam Mexico, and all these other things. But give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you use, podcast, Spotify. Give us a follow and check out all the other content that we do, because boy, do we sure podcast a lot.
We really do.
A whole lot.
Never going to stop.
Never. Not leaving. Appreciate all the postmarks. If you're new or old, we always appreciate you giving us your ears and eyes sometimes, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So appreciate all the listeners and NXT friends. We will chat with you very soon. Poisonrana.ca for links of everything else that we do. But that is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And R.I.P. Dory Funk Jr.
Ahoy!